kids, welcome back to our English video lesson. So this is lesson 17, using the S or ES form of verbs correctly. So for this lesson, we are going to talk about how to write verbs correctly. But before anything else, let's talk about what are verbs. So let's look at some pictures here. So we have a picture of a girl here with the word dance, another girl with the word eat, and a boy which has the word run. So if you're going to look at this picture closely, we can say that each picture demonstrates a movement, meaning there's a movement happening in the picture. Now the words dance, eat, and run, when you think of this word, there is a particular movement that comes with it in your mind. So basically, verbs are the words that express actions. Okay, so the words dance, eat, run are words that express actions. These words tell the movement shown in the pictures. Now, we use the word verbs to clearly have a picture on what a person is saying. Because when we talk or when we write, when we describe or when we write essays or when we describe what happened to us, we have to use the verbs to completely give people an idea on what we experience or what we want them to think. The words that expresses an action is called verb. It tells what someone or something does, will do, or did. So it can be an action word that happened before. It can be an action word that is happening right now, or it can be an action word that will happen in the future. Okay? So something that is done before, something that is currently being done, and something that will be done in the future. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So there are countless number of verbs. The more verbs you know, the better you are at speaking or writing English. Because like what I said a while ago, verbs is actually a helpful way to describe situations, things. It gives people better idea on what you are saying, what you are describing. So basically, when we talk about anything, almost anything, we usually use verbs. So here are some example of verbs. We have the word play, cook, run, swim, laugh, read, sleep, and bark. All of these words are verbs. So let's look at more examples of verbs. We have argue, crawl, dive, fight, fish. We're talking about the act of getting or catching a fish, not the fish itself. Knock, laugh, scream, shout, drop, hold, close, open. We're describing the movement when you close the door, when you open the door. Catch, throw, pull, push, and cry. Now, please remember that all verbs express time through tenses. Verbs can be an action that is done in the previous day, yesterday, or it's an action that is currently being done in the present, or it can be an action that will be done in the future. So it can be expressed according to the form of your verb, which is in the form of tenses. Now the tenses we will discuss the tenses in different lessons. So this is the first one, which is the simple present tense. Okay, so the first tense that we're going to talk about is the simple present tense. So the verb is in the simple present tense if the action is done in the present time or is done regularly. So if you always or your family always eat a particular dish and it's done regularly, then you can use the verb that is in simple present tense for that. Or if you're currently doing something, then you use the simple present tense of the verb. So let's look at an example here. Peter waves at Donna. So since this is currently being done, let's assume that currently Peter is waving at Donna. We can say that Peter waves at Donna. Now Donna waves back to Peter. So since Donna here is also waving at Peter, we can say that Donna waves back to Peter. Now we add s or es to verbs in the present tense when they are used with singular nouns. Okay, please remember, we add s or es to the verbs in the present tense when they are used with singular nouns. So we use the word, if you're going to look at the picture, we can say that the child or the girl plays with her toys. Or maybe while playing, the girl sings while playing. Sits, the girl sits on the floor. The girl looks at her toys. The girl touches her toys. Maybe she misses her mom because she's not there. She fixes her toys. Or clutches. She clutches her toys. So all of these words are in simple present tense form of the verb. So we use this with singular nouns. Singular nouns, again, are nouns that are only one. Okay, singular, single, meaning single. Now, let's look at more examples here. The mother bear stands in the water. The elevator goes up and down. Mom prepares our breakfast. Rules in forming the simple present tense of verbs. So we have certain rules when we write simple present tense form of the verb. So add s to most verbs to show the present form. So for most of the verbs, we just add s. So cook will become cooks, write will become writes, say will become says, bring will become brings, sit will become sits, sleep will become sleeps, and laugh will become laughs. If the verb ends in sh, ch, x, s, or z, add es. Example, smash, smashes, clutch, clutches, fix, fixes, miss, misses, buzz, buzzes, watch, watches, splash, splashes, kiss, kisses, mix, mixes, match, matches. So again, if your words are ending with x, ch, s, you have to add es. Now, if your verb ends in y, like for example, in the word fly, with a consonant before it, change y to I, then add es. Like this one, fly, flies, study, studies, cry, cries. But if the y is preceded by a vowel, just add s. So for example, here it ends in y, the word buy ends in y. But the letter before y is letter u, which is the vowel. So we just add s. Buy, buys. Pray, prays. Employ, employs. Now, if the verb ends in o, with the consonant before it, add es. But if the verb ends in o with the vowel before it, just add s. So again, if the word after o is a consonant, then you have to add es, like go, goes, do, does, forgo, forgoes. Now for the verb that ends in o with a vowel before it, like the word coo, you just add s, coos, boo, boos, woo, woos. Now the s or is form of the verbs usually used if the action expresses a general truth or fact. For example, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So we all know that really sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So it's a general truth. The earth revolves around the sun. Now it's time for you to practice using the s or es form of the verb. Okay, so here are the correct answers. For play, plays, cook, cooks, jump, jump. So you just have to add s. at the end of these verbs. For finish, since it ends with sh, you have to add es. Finishes. Paint will become paints. Kiss, kisses. Display, displays. Wish, wishes. Wash, washes. And read, reads. Okay, so for the word kiss, because it ends with s, it becomes kisses. For wish, like your finish, they end wish and wash, they both end with sh, so you have to add es at the end of them. Okay, so I hope you understood our lesson for today. If not, you can read your book or read the module that I uploaded, and I will see you during our live class. Goodbye, everyone.